Welcome to the intriguing world of cryonics, where human heads and bodies are preserved in frozen morgues, patiently waiting for a chance at a future resurrection. It might sound like something straight out of science fiction, but it's a story that's ghoulish, darkly humorous, and yet surprisingly sincere. For a select group of fervent futurists, cryonics is seen as their personal lottery ticket to immortality. The concept is both fascinating and controversial, raising the question, what are the real chances that these frozen bodies will one day be reanimated? Could baseball legend Ted Williams' frozen head, or any other preserved individual, be awakened to coach fighter pilots or even fused to a robot body to hit 400 again? Join us as we delve into the mysteries and uncertainties surrounding cryonics, exploring the science, ethics, and hopes that fuel this unique pursuit of eternal life. In the desert climate of Scottsdale, Arizona, lies a remarkable endeavor that challenges the boundaries of life and death, where hope meets science and the quest for immortality begins. Segment 1, Introduction to Cryonics. This isn't science fiction. In fact, it might not even be science, but still, thousands around the world have put their trust and their fortunes into the promise of cryonics. But what exactly is cryonics? This concept, introduced by Robert Ettinger in his groundbreaking book, The Prospect of Immortality, back in 1962. Cryonics involves cooling a recently deceased person to liquid nitrogen temperatures, preserving their body indefinitely with the hope of future revival. It might sound like an impossible goal to revive a dead person, but dying is a process, not an event. Cryonics aims to halt that process as quickly as possible after legal death, preserving the body's cellular integrity for potential revival using advanced technologies like nanotechnology and medical equipment. While we can't predict the future, advancements in science and technology have been extraordinary, making the promise of cryonics even more apparent and exciting. Join us as we explore the possibilities of extended lifespans and the potential for future biological repair, where cryonics might hold the key to unlocking a whole new era of human existence. Segment 2, The Science Behind Cryonics. Cryonics is rooted in modern science and relies on certain theories and technologies, but does it have a scientific basis? Let's delve into the science behind cryonics. At first glance, cryonics might seem like something straight out of science fiction, but it is firmly rooted in modern scientific principles. Picture this. A person declared beyond help by today's medicine is preserved at freezing temperatures for potentially decades or even centuries, awaiting a future medical technology that could bring them back to life in full health. The foundation of cryonics rests on three fascinating yet lesser-known facts. Life can be stopped and restarted if its basic structure is preserved. Remarkably, human embryos are routinely preserved for years at temperatures that halt life's chemistry. Even adults have survived cooling to temperatures where the heart, brain, and organs cease functioning for up to an hour. These insights from biology show that life is a specific arrangement of matter, which can be revived if cell structure and chemistry are well preserved. Vitrification can preserve biological structure remarkably well. By adding cryoprotectants to cells, tissue can be cooled to very low temperatures with minimal ice formation. Vitrification, the state of no ice formation below -120 degrees Celsius, now allows us to physically preserve organs as large as the human brain, achieving excellent structural preservation without freezing damage. The potential for repairing structures at the molecular level is foreseeable with nanotechnology. Emerging nanomedicine could hold the key to extensive tissue repair and regeneration. Imagine repairing individual cells one molecule at a time. This future breakthrough could potentially recover any preserved person, provided their basic brain structures encoding memory and personality remain inferable, even after spontaneous function has ceased. While cryonics might not yet have concrete proof of its efficacy, the scientific principles behind it continue to strengthen with every new advancement in preservation technology. The potential for a future where immortality becomes more than just a dream is truly captivating. The concept of being able to halt the process of dying and potentially revive individuals in the future challenges us to question the boundaries of life itself. Cryonics represents an incredible experiment, where science meets hope, and the quest for eternal life pushes the boundaries of our understanding. Let's embark on this thought-provoking journey together and explore the possibilities of cryonics, the science that dares to challenge what it means to be alive. Segment 3. The Cryonics Process. The cryonics process begins the moment a person is declared legally dead. Let's take a closer look at the intricate steps involved in cryonics preservation. See the footage explaining about cryonics.
The possibility of life after death is explored in Phoenix, Arizona by the Cryonics Society. They believe that cryobiology, the freezing of biological matter, is the answer. They propose freezing bodies in cold storage capsules. Scientists are mostly skeptical. A model demonstrates how one person, a California man who died of cancer, has already been frozen. A freezing liquid replaces the blood supply, and the subject is wrapped in aluminum foil and placed in a capsule at 220 degrees below 0 centigrade.
Segment 4. The Challenges and Controversies. Cryonics faces not only legal and logistical challenges, but also scientific limitations. What are the hurdles that cryonics must overcome, and why is there skepticism surrounding the practice? Preserving humans through cryonics is a formidable challenge, mainly due to the fragile nature of our brains. Without oxygen, the brain succumbs within minutes at room temperature, making reanimation often result in a permanent vegetative state. Cooling the body extends the preservation window, offering a glimmer of hope. In medical procedures, stopping circulation and cooling to 20 degrees C, 68 degrees F, for up to an hour is possible. However, pushing the boundaries further, such as cooling to 10 degrees C, 50 degrees F, without oxygen for more extended periods, remains in experimental research stages. This ongoing pursuit signifies a profound quest for life extension and defying the limits of mortality. When a cryonic patient passes away, a time-sensitive race begins to cool and preserve the body before decay sets in. The body is carefully placed inside a dewar, a thermos bottle filled with liquid nitrogen, LN. Wrapped in layers of insulating material, the body, usually oriented with the head downward for optimal brain preservation, is suspended in LN within the inner vessel of the dewar. The dewar is designed with an outer vessel separated by a vacuum to minimize heat transfer, but some heat transfer still occurs, leading to LN evaporation that necessitates periodic refills. In the past, bodies were frozen as is, resulting in varying preservation levels. In various instances, family members have found themselves entangled in legal battles over the fate of their deceased loved ones' bodies. Richard Orville's family, contrary to his wishes, buried him, prompting an Iowa court to intervene, ordering his body to be exhumed for preservation. Similarly, a Colorado woman's family fought Alcor in court over the preservation of her head, with Alcor eventually obtaining it for preservation. Conversely, another woman explicitly stated in her will that she did not wish to be frozen, but her husband disregarded her wishes and froze her. After a prolonged 4-year court battle, the state of California ruled that she should be thawed and laid to rest according to her original wishes. These cases highlight the complexities and conflicts that can arise when it comes to deciding the post-mortem fate of individuals and the importance of honoring their expressed wishes. During the legal aftermath of Mrs. Dostal's case, her children initiated a lawsuit, seeking reimbursement for the expenses incurred in preserving their mother on dry ice, with the intention of transferring her to Nelson's facility. However, the transfer never happened, leading to their demand for reimbursement. As the legal battle progressed, relatives of other patients stored in the same crypt joined the suit. After a 5-week trial, the court ruled against Nelson, finding him guilty of fraud, and both Clockgether and Nelson were held accountable for intentional infliction of emotional distress. A significant fine of nearly $1 million was imposed. While Clockgether's insurance covered his portion of the fine, Nelson, lacking substantial wealth or insurance, managed to negotiate the judgment due to procedural irregularities and never paid beyond $18,000 in attorney fees. Unfortunately, some individuals peripherally involved and not responsible for the patient's loss also had to pay thousands in attorney fees. While achieving true immortality through cryonics may seem unlikely, there are still numerous individuals each year who choose to entrust their bodies or brains to this controversial practice. If proper management is ensured and legal battles are avoided, there is a good chance that these individuals may remain frozen for many decades. However, the process comes with significant drawbacks, as the frozen remains often end up cracked and shattered, making the notion of reassembling them a mere science fiction concept for the foreseeable future. Despite its grim and ghoulish aspects, cryonics has spawned intriguing stories and dark humor, adding a unique dimension to this complex and fascinating field. Segment 5. The Faith in Cryonics. Despite the challenges and controversies, there are individuals who firmly believe in cryonics and are willing to put their faith in the possibility of future resurrection. Who are these people and why do they choose cryonics? Elaine Walker, a 47-year-old single mother and part-time college instructor at Scottsdale Community College, made the decision to have her head frozen at Alcor 9 years ago after discovering cryonics in an online news group during the pre-Google days of the 1990s. Initially deterred by the cost, she found a solution by front-funding the requirements through life insurance policies. Despite the annual membership fees, which she managed by canceling her cell phone plan, Elaine remains dedicated to saving for an eternal future. Interestingly, she emphasizes that her desire to be revived is not to fulfill unfulfilled dreams, but simply to witness what the future holds. She even jokes about preferring to return as a cyborg slave laborer on a distant planet rather than staying on Earth, as long as it's not too physically painful. Elaine's perspective offers a glimpse into the diverse and fascinating motivations behind those who opt for cryonic preservation, eagerly wondering if they will ever make it to Mars in their reanimated state. Segment 6. The Victims of Cryonics. In the 1960s and 1970s, these are the patients on record who got thawed due to various reasons, including capsule failures, financial issues, lack of proper cryoprotectants, and delayed suspensions. James Bedford, January 1967. CryoCare Equipment Corporation, transferred to Cryonics Society of California, still frozen today. Eva Schulman, early 1968, CryoCare Equipment Corporation, autopsied before being frozen, thawed, and buried. Louis Nisco, September 1967, CryoCare Equipment Corporation, later transferred to Cryonics Society of California. Frozen with delays, ended up at CSC and was thawed and buried. Donald Kester Sr., July 1968, CryoCare Equipment Corporation, committed suicide, thawed, and buried by his son a year later. Marie Phelps Sweet, Helen Klein, and Russ Stanley, Cryonics Society of California. Frozen at a mortuary in dry ice, capsule opened and resealed, later thawed and terminated. Stephen Mandel, July 1968. Cryonics Society of New York, CSNY. Removed from suspension after 2 weeks due to lack of funding. Andrew Mihawk, November 1968. Cryonics Society of New York, CSNY. Thawed after a few weeks when relatives refused to pay. Anne de Blasio, January 1969. Cryonics Society of New York, CSNY. Removed by her husband and placed in an underground vault in New Jersey, later terminated. Despite these early failures, cryonics has evolved and suspension failures have become rare in recent times. The practice has shown progress, and the number of cases has increased, indicating a new era of strength, stability, and continued growth for cryonics. Segment 7. The Legal and Ethical Perspectives. Cryonics raises complex legal and ethical questions. How does the law view cryonics, and what are the ethical considerations surrounding this practice? This historical account delves into the early days of cryonics, highlighting both successes and failures within the movement. The article documents how patients were frozen and stored in the 1960s and 1970s, but many ended up thawing and being buried due to limited funding and lack of proper preservation techniques. Multiple organizations attempted cryonic preservation, with some using dry ice and others exploring liquid nitrogen. Sadly, most early cases ended in failure, illustrating the challenges faced by the pioneers of cryonics. Despite the tragedies, the cryonics field has evolved significantly since then, learning from past mistakes and improving preservation methods. Modern cryonics organizations have achieved greater success in preserving patients, offering hope for the future of this controversial yet intriguing concept. Conclusion: the quest for hope and immortality. In the end, cryonics is a testament to the human desire for hope and the quest for immortality. It challenges us to question the boundaries of life and contemplate our beliefs in what lies beyond. As we explore the frontiers of science, cryonics reminds us that hope knows no bounds. Cryonics stands as a fascinating and controversial pursuit where science and hope converge in the quest for immortality. Rooted in modern scientific principles, cryonics holds the potential to challenge the boundaries of life and offer glimpses of a future where revival and extended lifespans become possible. As we explore the complexities, challenges, and ethical considerations surrounding cryonics, we are reminded that hope knows no bounds, propelling humanity forward into the unknown possibilities that lie ahead. The captivating world of cryonics continues to inspire curiosity and fascination, leaving us with a profound sense of wonder about the future of human existence. Remember, hope keeps us going, and the future may hold extraordinary possibilities that we have yet to comprehend.